time. Let's get some calls in the mix. Guys waiting for a long time. We start with Michael in Sacramento, California on DeMarcus Cousins. Michael, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing well, Chris. How you doing?
All right, Mike. Nice to chat. Let me hear what's on your mind today. Fire away. Go ahead.
Well, obviously the Warriors have the most talent in the league. I am so disgusted by the way the NBA is turning. I mean, it's gotten worse and worse. I'd say it started really when LeBron, Bosh, and Wade all got max deals in Miami. And nowadays, it's just a joke. There's only 5 teams that are relevant. And if Golden State's healthy, no one else has a shot.
Nah, no question about it. Boston and Philly in the East, Golden State,
and the 3
Houston.
teams, and LeBron's always going to be relevant.
Yeah, maybe Oklahoma City. There's probably a couple more in the West. But you're 100% right. It's a major problem for the league. They could not have been happy with Cousins. I'm sure they were not happy even with LeBron. Cleveland now is a wasteland. They have a they got a major. Now I don't know if they want to acknowledge it, but they do. They probably don't. But they do have a major. I think as a sports fan, they got a major problem on their hands. I'm with you 1,000%.
I just wanted to, obviously living in Sacramento and your good buddy Grant, you can ask him about this, but DeMarcus is no angel, man. He's tough. And playing with Draymond Green, neither one of them have ever thought they committed a foul. I'm telling you right now, it looks great on paper with all the numbers, but is Cousins going to be okay getting 15 and 7 tonight?
He's going on a team that's not going to put up with it. So based on the idea that he's on Golden State, now if he went somewhere else, he'd be a pain in the neck, but he cannot screw that team up because if he screws up Golden State, he's never going to get paid. So if he's the reason why they don't win, he'll get killed. So he should be on his best behavior. He'll have his moments. 82 games is it's a lot of exhibition games. They have his moments, but I think overall, for 1 year, I wouldn't do it for 5, but for 1 year, I think it will work. Neil in Rockland County got a chance. That's New York, and he says hello. Neil, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Sure. So good afternoon. Actually, I want to tell you I agree with you on something for once. I wanted to say that piggyback off of what you said about ESPN. I'm really upset with them primarily because I felt like all their analysts, including your guy Stephen A., are coming after the fans and saying that we're basically being overreactive towards this situation. And this is disgusting. This whole situation is just frustrating as fans, and it insults our intelligence to actually have to listen to them tell me that I'm
crazy.
overreacting.
I mean, if anybody out there thinks this is good for the league, now I know you're going to tell me L.A., big market, and LeBron, all right, but you cannot sit there if you're anywhere on television or on radio, you cannot, or writing, you cannot sit there that DeMarcus Cousins going to the Golden State Warriors is good for the league. That you can't tell me. That's ridiculous. They don't need him. It's just going to add to a big-time team. He's going to behave for 1 year. You want to spread around the talent. The Eastern Conference is a mess. They can say that now. Remember, though, ESPN is joined at the hip with the league, and a lot of the young guys, we've discussed this, a lot of the guys on television doing these debate shows, it's a younger generation. They did not grow up with baseball. They're not going to talk tennis. They're not going to break down Tiger at Shinnecock. They're not going to talk about the horse. There's not a lot of diversity, and there's not a lot of open-mindedness, and there's just not a lot. There's just, they're centered on a couple of sports, and they've been able to survive because ESPN, puts all their money in 2 sports. Fox is not as ratings dependent because they're trying to find their way. And you're right, 100% there, Neil, is that, you have a lot of guys there who are younger, who did not grow up with the other sports, and they're going to dominate with the pop culture and all that, and be politically correct. They're going to dominate with the NBA and the NFL, and they're not going to knock. They're not going to knock they're not going to knock. That's where their bread is buttered. They're not going to knock it. So that's a problem. Go ahead, continue.
Absolutely. And it's frustrating because why are we talking about text messages between LeBron and Durant? How come we can't talk about the Braves or the Indians or anything? Like all this wasted time, and they're wondering why baseball isn't as popular as it should be when they could be highlighting baseball stars instead of talking about nonsensical things that don't even matter.
Well, it's not just
absolutely outrageous.
It's not just baseball, Neil. It's all the other little sports too. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I put on those shows, or they're on when I'm doing shows or I'm listening to the radio, I didn't hear a Wimbledon preview last week. I didn't hear any. I didn't hear a lot of Belmont. I heard very little. I was the only radio station out there for Shinnecock. I can guarantee you that. I didn't see a lot of radio. I didn't see Stephen A. at Shinnecock. I tell you that. Or anybody there talking golf. So, I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, nobody was doing Max Schmeling and Joe Louis. I also can tell you that, too. So, it's depressing from that standpoint. If you are on the air right now, you got to do 24/7 LeBron. And you can't find and listen, baseball right now on ESPN and FS, you can't find it. You put it on there during the day, they never took. I mean, they picked up the intentional talk show because baseball got all upset that they were going to dump all the baseball tonights, and so they essentially said, listen, you got to do us a favor. You got to do a little baseball. So they picked up the Kevin Millar thing with Chris Rose, and they simulcast it, but that's an MLB show. That's not a ESPN show. I mean, they are going to spend their time. Now, ESPN's going to do a lot this week on the Home Run Derby. So they're going to, because they think the young kid likes that. And that's who they want to appeal to. They don't want to appeal to Chris Russo. They want to appeal to Colin Russo, the 16-year-old. That's what they want to do. Here's DJ in Long Island, New York. DJ, welcome. How are you today?
Hey, dog. What's going on, buddy?
DJ, nice to chat. Let me hear now. Fire away.
I just want to talk about LeBron. First of all, you got to give Magic Johnson a tremendous amount.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree.
He did not do a one-in-one deal. He got him to commit long-term.
You think if Magic Johnson was one of the Detroit Pistons that LeBron would have gone?
I don't know.
No, he wouldn't have.
Got to give him credit, though. Look at Durant, though, dog. He did another one of those one-in opt-out deals. Magic Johnson got LeBron to commit to a
I think LeBron wants to be in DJ. I don't think it's anything more complicated than the idea that LeBron wants to be in L.A.
And, dog, if you think that Adam Silver doesn't want LeBron James on the Lakers, you are out of it. You've lost it. Are you kidding me? He's going to break records, all-time records. He's going to be on the Lakers. You think he wants him on Cleveland?
Well, number one, remember now, one thing, two things. Number one, he loses balance with his conferences. Number two, LeBron's not going to play deep in the playoffs because it's a much tougher conference. I'm assuming he doesn't get
this year.
Well, for this year, but he's going to be out probably by May 1st. So for 2 months, they won't have their best player in the sport playing in the postseason. That would be a problem too. That would be a problem for him. And number three, the Lakers are a huge franchise anyway. They generate a ton of buzz, no matter if they're good or bad. They're the Lakers. Cleveland now generates no buzz. Cleveland and that's a big city. And Cleveland right now is a complete wasteland in the NBA. Complete.
He's got to wait. He's got to wait the Warriors out for a year. They got Thompson coming up, free agent. This Cousins thing is 1 year. Draymond Green thinks he's a max player. They're going to be. They're not going to last. I'm telling you.
So you think this is good for the league that LeBron went to L.A. and Cousins went to Golden State?
Absolutely. It's the Lakers. If they have their you don't think they want their marquee player who's going to set? He might be the leading scorer of all time. He's doing a Laker uniform. You think Adam Silver wants him in Cleveland over Los Angeles?
I understand your point there. I get it. I understand your point. I do think, that clear. Remember now, that means, Laker games at 10:30 at night, but I do understand your point. I get it. You can make that argument if you want to go in that direction, but I think he wants all his teams to have a competitive opportunity to be, championship worthy. The Lakers eventually are going to get there anyway with 2 max deals. Cleveland now is finished forever, and so is the conference. Their best player went from one conference that was weak to the conference that was great. How are they going to sell to anybody in America a Buck Cav game next year? How are they going to do that? How are they going to sell Cavaliers, Indiana? How are they going to sell Philadelphia and Charlotte? How are they going to sell any of that? No, why would you bother even going? Sure, I mean, what's the point? Penalty kick time. England and Colombia. We'll keep you posted. They're tied so far. We continue here.